Complete and utter domination. Down goes Sparty. This Badgers team is a wagon. They're a wagon right now. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger Nation? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. We appreciate you. The Badgers dominate, take apart, obliterate the Michigan State Spartans lead for 98% of the game. It was never in doubt after the first couple minutes. Today's episode brought to you by our good friends over at Mazda, highlighting this week's moving the game forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Today's episode, obviously, what went right, what went wrong. A ton went right. We might not even do what went wrong. We got Coach. We got Rajeev. Guys, we haven't played this in a minute, so we got to play it.
This is awesome. It's a good day for me. Come on in here, buddy. Get up on that line.
Rajeev, big picture.
I mean, listen, like, can we just talk about the week that we had? We just won at Illinois, dominated home against Michigan State. We've now beat 3 top 10 teams. That's another quad 1 victory. Who we lost at Indiana? Nobody remembers that because nobody, myself included, no Badger fan thought we were going to beat Illinois and Michigan State. This team is gelling at the right time. This team is improving every single game. Remember how many times we talked about, oh, their starts are so weak. No, we fixed that, right? We got that corrected. All those little issues. Give Greg Gard credit. Give this team credit. Nick Boyd, just big shock. Incredible performance again. The best backcourt in the Big Ten. Maybe the best backcourt in the country. You better be ready for Believe with Rajeev tonight because I'm telling you right now, This is exactly the kind of team. This is when you want to be peaking. This is exactly when you want to be getting better. March is in sight. The end of the season is near. I mean, listen, I'm now saying I wish Michigan would have lost Northwestern the other night because, hey, if you don't think we're in for the Big Ten title, you're crazy. We are in it. We are this close. What an incredible performance. Once again, just beating a top team. We talk so much about the inconsistency of this team. Bull crap. This is consistency now. We just beat Illinois and Michigan State in back-to-back games. That is the definition of consistency. Incredible game. Go Badgers. I mean, listen, it's a celebratory Friday night, guys. Let's go.
Coach, man. I mean, put this in context. Again, you beat Illinois on the road. You come back, you mop the floor with Michigan State.
Yeah, no, I'm all with Rajeev. Believe with Rajeev, baby. But you know what? This is a coach's dream, if you think about it, guys. That to face the adversity, let's be honest, they kind of got that win at Indiana stolen from them. Mm-hmm. And then to respond the way they did by coming back to beat Illinois on the road, and then you guys both hit on it, 40 minutes of complete domination tonight to beat another top 10 team. I mean, it's a coach's dream to have 2 wins like that in a week, especially coming off of a tough loss. You never know how your guys are going to respond. And, you know, what was really great about tonight was the complete 40 minutes, but it was almost all facets of the game. Defense, rebounding, 50-50 plays, playing to the scouting report. You know, Michigan State struggles to shoot from the perimeter. You could tell the Badgers' game plan was contain dribble penetration, force them to make outside shots, and they couldn't do it. And it was just a great all-around performance. I thought the staff did an excellent job. The players executed the scouting report to a T, and you know, what an incredible week.
Yeah, there's so much good to hit on, you guys. Like it's going to take a minute, which is good because I'll say this: these are wins to celebrate. These are wins to have fun with. These are wins to take a moment to enjoy in the middle of the season to have a win like this against this team. I want to start. I mean, maybe Nick Boyd's an obvious place, but I almost want to start with just the toughness. You know, this is a Michigan State team that is size. They're tough. They battle. And I thought, listen, I know that wasn't perfect. I thought our guys, Winter, Beals, and Rapp, battled the entire night, especially those 2 young fours. they didn't back down. And listen, Bielsa had some moments in this game that weren't great, but both of those dudes absolutely battled the entire game. They didn't back down. And then Nolan Winter, 11 boards, 5 offensive. Again, we could start at a bunch of spots for the great stuff, but gosh, those guys battled. And you got to do that against Michigan State.
And how many times have we talked about how our bigs weren't good enough to battle, weren't big enough, didn't play strong enough? Well, forget that. Like they're improving week by week, game by game. I want to say Coach said the right thing there. Like, Scott, I think you really hit the nail on the head with the fact that we hit our game plan. Like clearly the coaches had a game plan and we executed that. I think that was really well said because, this is where Greg Gard also deserves a lot of praise in this moment. We're going to give a lot of praise to the players. We're going to talk about Winter. We're going to talk about Boyd. We're going to talk about Blackwell. But listen, Greg Gard, this is a masterclass from Greg Gard in the way that they defended Michigan State. I mean, we just beat one of the best teams in the Big Ten. We stomped them. We crushed their soul. Like, well done by the coaching. I just want to call that out, Coach. You said it right. That's really important. We're not going to talk enough about Greg Gard today, but he deserves a lot of credit. But back to your point, Ryan, the bigs. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Kind of performance, that domination, the effort on the boards tonight, right? Like nothing was going to get by us. Nothing was too big for us. We were just always going to be the better team. We were always going to be the more dominant. We were always going to be the more aggressive. I mean, man, like I feel like I could just talk about this team for the next hour. Like I'm so excited about what this is and what this says about this team. I did a show today on the Bucky Report on like our audio only edition, talking about how I feel like this team was gelling at the right time. We made slow improvements, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That Minnesota first half was a step back. That Indiana game, we played well, minor step back. But look at what we're doing now. We couldn't buy a quad 1 victory to begin the season. And now we're just getting them left and right. Like this is how you end the season. This is how you walk into March. This is what gives your team confidence that they can be any. We know we can be anyone in the country. We've proven that now. Now, if we can have a shooting percentage like we did today and defend like we did, and as Coach said, have a game plan and protect that like we did today, put any team in front of us and we can get it done.
Coach, talk to me about go wherever you're about to hit, but then I want you to hit on Nick Boyd too. And
yeah, absolutely. So, you guys, just to kind of put a bow on top of with everything, talking about the bigs and the rebounding. I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Michigan State was plus 13 rebounding advantage on the season, and the Badgers played them even 38-38. And then to Rajeev's point, he's been talking about it for weeks, 28-12 paint points in the Badgers' favor against Michigan State. I mean, how many times have we seen over the years where Michigan State would have 15, 20 offensive rebounds against the Badgers, be plus 15 on the boards? So just to reiterate what you guys just talked about, the toughness, the battle, the will to be even with a team like that on the boards and just, in the paint points, beating them in the paint points, it really sends a message to Rajeev's point, like they're a different team. Like they're showing that grit, the dirty part of the game that the Badgers haven't necessarily always been about the past couple of years. And, they're trending in the right way.
Really quick before we're going to have to take a pause. We're going to come back, talk Nick Boyd. We have a bunch more to get to. Rajeev, if you see comments that come in that you want to star those. Some great ones, including this one from Badger Man, good friend of the show we're going to get to. Nick Boyd, best point guard since ... That's a good one. So we got some good ones to get to. I think you both nailed it too. And I just wanted to point out one specific thing with the game plan. You both talked about the game plan. Coach, you brought it up. Rajeev, you hit it. It was specifically fascinating to watch the matchup on Jeremy Fears, who is coming off a 25-point, 11 assist game. He was 3 of 12 today. Is that right? 3 of 12. Yes. It got in his head. And they were absolutely under every screen, daring him to shoot, keeping him out of the paint. Specifically on Fears, they cut the head off the snake. That's the guy that gets everything. And he still had 11 assists because he's an incredible passer. But they cut all of that offense off of him, and he didn't adjust. It got in his head. It messed with him. And I thought it was just brilliant job. Also, great job by Nick Boyd to execute that game plan. Coach, I'm sure you put in game plans that players don't execute before. Great job by Boyd, Gard. A lot more to get to. We're going to take a quick second here. We're going to come back, start with Coach Gauthier and Rajeev. Is that the best first half they've seen from a Badgers guard since ... That's coming up next, plus your comments on Locked On Badgers. First, a quick break for our friends of the show. Quick second to say thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers. Today's episode brought to you by our incredible friends over at Indeed. Indeed is an awesome partner, and it's not just about trying to find the right person for your job. Like, sometimes you have to find the right person for the long-term fit for your job. Somebody that can push it forward, somebody that can really be just a tremendous fit for what you're trying to do for your company. That's where Indeed comes in. Indeed is absolutely awesome if you're trying to find somebody to propel your business forward. Specific criteria, skills, certifications, location, all these things matter. And quite honestly, your company and your business, it's only as good as the people pushing it forward. So find the right people for your job, save time, do it easier with Indeed sponsored jobs. You get seen by the best candidates who are actually a fit. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching, more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help your job give it the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions do apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at FanDuel. The Winter Olympics are officially here. And if you're anything like us, if you're anything like me, every 4 years, I love the Winter Olympics. I'm glued to it. Women's hockey, a lot of Badgers representing there. I love the curling. Shockingly, it's like my favorite Olympic sport now. It's so much fun to watch. It's just fantastic. And if you want to get in on that action, go do it over at FanDuel. Take your bets, take your favorites, the sports you love the most, the athletes you're tracking. Get in on that action over at FanDuel, keeping the entire Olympic experience engaging from start to finish. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. All right, Coach. Nick Boyd first half. How do you put that into words? Or we'll go Rajeev. I think we lost Coach for a second.
I mean, what else can you say other than, like, this is Greg Gard has consistently brought us a transfer, gem every year. Store, Tanjay, Boyd. Like, he was unbelievable. Listen, I've given Boyd my fair share of flack this year because I think sometimes he takes a little bit too aggressive on the shots, but the man is a gamer. We talked about it the other night, like after the Illinois game, all three of us, like, he's a killer. He's exactly what you want. He's exactly the kind of guy that, like, remember, this guy played in a Final Four. This guy has played on multiple teams. He's been well coached. He's been coached by Dusty May. Like, he understands this game. And is he perfect? No. But is he right for this right now? Yes. Like, all he does is score. He was lethal tonight from behind the three-point line, getting to the hoop, passing. What did he have tonight? So he had 4 assists tonight. Again, only 1 turnover. Listen, that assist-to-turnover ratio continues to get better with Nick Boyd. Like, just another 29-point game. But once again, he is by far the best player on this team. He is without a question our leader and the guy that's going to take us into March. He's been there. He's done it. Every time the bright lights shine, Ryan and Coach, all he does is show up. And I mean, we can talk about the issues that he's had throughout the season, but he's a gamer and I want him on our side. I'm so happy that he's here. Like, yeah, best point guard. That was the thing you brought up. Best point guard since. The answer is Devin Harris. And I mean, like, that's the real answer. Like, yes, we've not had a guy like this since Devin Harris. I mean, maybe you could say, you want to say Dimitri Trice, you want to say, like, I don't know who you're going with, but he is the best guard that we've had since Devin Harris because of his ability to score, his ability to pass, his ability to run the game. Who are you going to give it to, Ryan? Like, you got to give this guy some credit.
Jordan Taylor, multiple-time All-American.
Okay, fine. Jordan Taylor. Fine, I can live with that.
I love Nick Boyd. Coach, that first half with Nick Boyd, there's some no. Yes, shots in there, but the dude was just on a heater, man. What'd you see from Nick Boyd first half?
Hey, Ryan, I can't hear you on my end. I can hear Rajeev.
Oh, interesting. Rajeev,
I can hear you, Ryan. I think you're all right.
Rajeev, tell Coach to drop and come back in.
Let me drop out. I'll get back.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, you're right about Jordan Taylor. You're right. But the fact that we're talking about Nick Boyd on that level of Jordan Taylor and Devin Harris, Ryan, like, that's a big deal. Like, we didn't think we were going to get that this year. We knew he was going to be an important part of this team. We knew he was going to be a critical piece of Blackwell's development. But I mean, you got to give it to this guy. He's had an incredible season, man.
You remember just a show or two ago, we did Fact or Fiction. I said, Rajeev, Nick Boyd's the most underrated Badger we've had maybe in the Greg Gard era because everybody were just nitpicking, and the dude is giving you 20 a game. He's been incredible. So I think you're totally right. The fact that we're talking about him in the same tier as he's a Jordan Taylor, maybe just a step below. It's incredible. What another portal find, by the way, by Greg Gard. Like, if you're an athletic guard, come to Wisconsin. Store Nick Boyd, John Tonje, athletic guard wing. My goodness. Where else would you want to go? Coach, see if you can hear me now. Elaborate on Nick Boyd.
Yeah, I got one word, dude. He is a flat out dude. I mean, guys, his line in the first half, 20 points, 8 for 12 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3. Had, I think, 2 assists, 0 turnovers at halftime. Don't forget the fact, too, Blackwell did not play that last 8 minutes of the first half because he picked up 2 fouls. They were up 18 when Blackwell went out of that game. They only were -1 that last 8 minutes because of what Boyd did. And Ryan, you made a great point earlier. Not only that offense, and Rajeev's right, he's a gamer, he's an energy giver. Players are one of 2 things. They're usually an energy giver or they're an energy taker. And he's a giver. But to your point, Ryan, what you said earlier is his defensive execution on Fears tonight was elite. And that's the difference between a good point guard and a great point guard. Is we all know what he can do offensively, but defensively, to be able to shut down a player like that, and now teams are scared to death of somebody like Boyd that can get to the rim and get to the paint at will. The Badgers really haven't had that too often, other than the names we previously mentioned. It's just another dimension that the Badgers really haven't had at the point guard position for quite a while.
And we talk about what he does. I just want to bring this comment up. Sorry, Ryan, to cut you off. Jay White, 21B, says Boyd's energy and drive is impacting the rest of the team in the most positive way. So it's not just what he's doing, producing 29 points. Like, he's making this team better. Everyone around him is playing better because the swagger that he plays with is infectious, right? Like, you can see the team play differently when Boyd is doing Boyd things. When he's being that dude, as Coach says, like, this is permeating through the entire roster. And that's what's making us better. Like we talked about early in the season, Ryan, like how, Boyd and Blackwell didn't really gel together, right? I said at one point, I was like, Boyd doesn't even want to pass the ball to Blackwell, I felt like. But now these guys are just playing like a complete team. It's like you draw it up, you have this roster, and you say, you know what, it's going to take time. By the end of the season, we need to be playing our best ball. Well, we're playing better ball now than we played all year. This is exactly how you draw it up. We've just beaten 2 top 10 teams in a span of 4 days. Like, what more do you want from this team? Boyd's energy is spilling down to everyone. And I'm telling you, like, he is making this team insanely special. And we've got to acknowledge that.
James Husby says, everybody watched Coach with Denver teams Sunday noon, CBSSN. Go check out Coach's team plays on Sunday. Rajeev, I think that was really well said. And that's why you go get a veteran point guard. That's why you got to go get a good veteran point guard that's also a great character guy. That's everything we heard about Boyd coming in. He's a great character guy. He's a killer. He's intangibles. That's why you go get that guy. He's the captain of the boat. He's the engine of the ship. He shifted Blackwell to the 2 where Blackwell can just go get his buckets. That works great for him. One of the things I was watching tonight, guys, and I thought it was really apparent the impact of a resurgent Austin Rapp, and then Andrew Rohde hits his first 2 threes. The spacing on the floor was incredibly difficult for Michigan State to handle because there was a play where Boyd drove in, got to his left, and there was nobody else in the paint for Michigan State. Nobody, because Rapp had his guy in the corner, Rohde had his guy in the other corner, you had Blackwell at the wing, and you had Winter at a wing, or maybe he's Carrington at that moment. The point is, this is the upper ceiling of what we envision this team could be, right? Tremendous spacing, gravity everywhere, and then a couple guards that can just get in the paint and dice you up. You can't guard that if you're shooting this well with this type of spacing. Coach, they put him in a blender.
That's it. Took the words out of my mouth. They had Michigan State chasing on the defense end all game. And Ryan, I really liked what you said there in terms of, I just loved what the bench did in that first half. Garlick only played 3 minutes, but when he came in, they doubled the post, which they don't do. Garlick had 2 post doubles that forced 2 turnovers. BC, again, came in, rebounding, hit a couple of threes. And then, like you said, Rapp came in. I just thought the bench and spots, Janicki even banked in a 3. I mean, just Rajeev's been talking about, we've been begging for bench points. I thought the bench, especially in that first half, Rajeev made another great point. Gard, it was a masterclass. Gard pick and chose when to get his bench in there, and he did it in short spurts, but it was like perfect in how he did it. And it just gelled. It was just a complete effort. And to build on what you guys were saying about Boyd, he also, his energy gets the crowd into it. Because we know the Kohl Center is not always the loudest, rowdiest place. And I think Boyd has elevated even that to a certain extent with that energy.
Yeah, well said. Rajeev, we talked about Boyd a lot. Give me another game ball. Yeah, someone else that gets a game ball for you.
I mean, another double-double, big surprise from Nolan Winter. I mean, just like, listen, just another 11 rebounds, 5 offensive, 6 defensive. He's growing before our eyes. By the way, who liked him the most when he was a senior in high school? That's this guy right here. Like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I like him. No, to be clear, you called him Dirk Nowitzki, though. That, okay. Nobody's going to like him.
I said he has that ceiling. You thought Yalden was the better recruit. I said Winter was the better recruit. No.
Winter still does have a Dirk ceiling.
That's fine. But he was the best guy out of that class. Well, maybe Blackwell. But anyway, listen, the point is he's a walking double-double once again. It's not only that he's like in these positions to get, he's making aggressive athletic rebounds. He's actually finding the ball. He's taking it upon himself to get those rebounds. And that's the key with him. Like, I love the aggressiveness that he had tonight. They had a beautiful floater tonight where he just like ran in the lane, had a nice little dunk off the glass. I'm like, that's the beauty of what he does when he plays a true 4. Imagine if he had a true 5 that played with him. Like, he's just incredible tonight. Like, I continue to just, praise what he does. I mean, he's an incredible rebounder. Like, how many times he had double-digit rebounds this season? Like, over half our games, like, if not more. It's just, he's so reliable. He's only getting better before our eyes. That's absolutely a game ball for me.
What about you, Coach?
I was Go Pack Go just made the comment, and what I was going to hit on, John Blackwell, I've been hard on him because I think he's a great player and I hold him to a high standard. I thought he played the ultimate, complete, solid game. He landed on 2. He didn't force shots. He kicked it out. He finished 20 points. He had 6 for 14 from the floor, 4 for 9, 8 from the free throw line, 4 assists. I mean, that is good as a game, a complete game that Blackwell has played. I thought, and he sat out 8 minutes in the first half, guys. I mean, that stat line was incredible. I just thought his unselfishness, he just played an all-around team game, which we've been kind of talking about that. I thought it was a great performance.
Yeah, and I think, Coach, to your point, the decision-making that Blackwell had tonight, it wasn't just about forcing things. Like, there was a couple times where I'm like, well, you didn't really need to shoot that. But like, when he drove, he was intentional with his actions. He was making the right pass. He was shooting when he needed to. Like, he looked like a more mature version of himself tonight. And I think that's what we want to see him growing, right? Like, there's been times where he's been a little absent in first halves, which we've called that on this show. We've said that. Tonight was not one of those nights. The other night against Illinois was not one of those nights. Like, he's becoming a better player in front of our eyes. And it's those decision-making. It's that mentality of the game. And I give him a lot of credit, but this is where you also have to go back and say, you got to give credit to Greg Gard, because this is the coaching that he's giving him. And this is why you're seeing this team play better. Nick Boyd and John Blackwell may very well be one of the best backcourts in the nation. And when they're playing at their peak, and they're playing at their peak right now, this is what happens. When you beat 2 top 10 teams in a week, you've already beaten Michigan before. Nobody in the country even sniffs these types of victories that the Badgers have had. No one comes close. And you have to give credit where credit is due. Nick Boyd, John Blackwell, what a duo. What an incredible duo.
I'll just say it. And please, somebody in the chat, let me know if I'm missing anybody. I don't watch every team for sure, but I think it's the most dangerous offensive backcourt in the country. Yeah. I mean, forget one of them. I don't think there's another offensive backcourt that is better than this group in the country. And maybe there's discussions to be had for a few of them, but that's a dangerous team in March, man. When you have a backcourt like this, that's a dangerous team in March, which we're going to talk about next segment. Big picture thoughts plus your questions. Really quick, I want to finish up on Winter. Just a quick question for you, Coach. I think maybe one of the more impressive things to me is this is a big man who doesn't get a lot of shots but works his butt off. And there's just not an ego there.
Absolutely. I mean, what did he have? He only took 7 shots. Mm-hmm. Walking double-double to what you're saying, Ryan, is incredible teammate. For, a lot of guys would maybe bitch and moan or complain that he's not getting the ball or whatever. Winter is the same guy day in, day out. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. But I think his unselfishness and his willingness to do whatever it takes to win, do the little dirty little things that you're pointing out, Ryan, that leads to wins. I still think the play of the game against Illinois was him chasing down that offensive rebound and calling the timeout. I mean, it's just smart, unselfish, disciplined play. Great point by you, Ryan, to point that out is, just no ego. And that's what you're starting to see. Boyd and Blackwell took a while for him to figure out the role. Same with Rhodey, same with Rapp. But there doesn't seem to be egos on this team now. Gard talked about it in his post-game pressers throughout the year, trying to get them to understand the bigger picture. And you can see that coming to fruition in front of our eyes.
It's really well said with Gard, too. Both hit on this. The continuity of this team, the way it's been gelling, that is absolutely the culture that has been built and put forth by Greg Gard. That doesn't just happen. There's teams that fall apart over the course of the season. There's teams that plateau. This Badgers team, now this is 3 data points. That this is a trend up, and that's on Greg Gard. Like, it absolutely is Greg Gard, the culture, the type of players they bring in. You recruit your own mistakes, and you recruit your own good stuff. So you got to give them so much credit, man, as Rajeev and I always generally have, I'll point out. All right, let's take a quick second here. Mazda friends of the show. And then coming up, big picture thoughts. Is this team Elite 8 dangerous? Final 4 dangerous? How much has the ceiling gone up in Rajeev's eyes? That's coming up next. Locked on Badgers. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show over at Mazda. Mazda moving the game forward. For those who show, it's more than just the highlights. It's more than just the score. Than what's on the screen. It's what happens behind the scenes. Today's game, it's pretty obvious, man. Nick Boyd moving the game forward. Just incredible. Like, some of those shots, the degree of difficulty on some of those shots, unguardable, getting in the paint. There was a point in this game where it felt like he was toying with them. Cat and mouse, in and out of the paint, bam, foul. In and out of the paint, bam, kick to the corner for 3. Absolutely unbelievable. Dialed in, giving every single bit of detail, giving it that extra fire and that little bit of never quit. That was Nick Boyd today. And Mazda puts the same amount of passion into every one of their models. Highlights make the reel, but it's what happens behind the scenes that make it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Mazda, move and be moved. Guys, Rajeev, we'll start with you, man. Big picture. Big picture. What is this team now?
Listen, first of all, I have to say 2 things. First of all, thank you to the nearly 700 people who are watching us live tonight. And also, our fearless leader over here to my left. Look at his background. He's got this great new digital background. Ryan's doing some incredible stuff in his office, so kudos to that. Awesome stuff. I mean, look, you know where I'm going to go with this. We can beat anyone in the country. The Big Ten is the best conference in America, and we have shown we've beaten the 3 best teams in the conference. Certainly Purdue's up there. We haven't beaten them yet. Michigan State, Illinois, Michigan. We can beat anybody in the country, which means that tonight we shot 48% from 3. 42% from 3. If we shoot like this, if we play defense like we did, we play with the kind of grit, we can beat anybody. Yes, of course we have Final Four ceiling. I'm not saying we're going to get there, but we can absolutely get there. We can do it. This is the kind of game, though, that hits the seed up, right? Like, we were already in like the 8-9 line, maybe the 7 line after the Illinois game. You beat Michigan State. That's another quad 1 win. We're up to the 6th line easily right now, at the very least. We've got 2 more quad 1 victories coming up in the next couple weeks. That's another reason that we can climb that seeding. The higher you climb that seed, the better chance you have of the Sweet 16. I fully expect this team to be able to get there, not only, Ryan, because we can shoot the ball from 3, but because we have proven that we can do things in a different way, right? We were falling short early in games. What did we do? We went inside more. We were able to drive more and dish more. We're playing better defensively. We're playing more intensity. We're rebounding better. You do the little things better. Even if you're not having a great shooting night, you can make up for that when you have the talent level that we do. Of course, we have the ability to go deep into the tournament. And you better damn well believe that I'm going to call for that happening, because this is the kind of performance we need to see. You've got one of the best guards in the country in Nick Boyd. You've got another guard. You've got Nolan Winter. You've got a great team in front of you. And frankly, you've got a coach that has proven that he can adapt. I'm not saying he's done great in the tournament. He hasn't, but this is the year that's going to change. We're absolutely making the Sweet 16, and you better damn well believe we're going to make a run, potentially beyond that, and we can beat anybody in the country. And whether or not you believe that, we've proven it. It's not just conjecture, it's actual reality.
Badgers winning a national title? Absolutely. Going on Final Four runs?
That's hard.
Why not?
It's hard to follow.
It's Believe
hard to follow
with
up on that.
Rajeev on
That's
today's Locked
phenomenal
On
job.
Bad.
They're starting to make me look kind of stupid because, I said round of 32. But this team does have second weekend potential to what Rajeev was saying, because what do you need to win in March? You need guard play. They got guard play with Boyd and Blackwell. They have size. The broadcast pointed out tonight. They have size at at the 4 and 5 positions now. And then if we can get that, if the Badgers can get that sort of production from their bench, it raises their ceiling. It's still going to, in my mind, it's still going to all come down to the defensive end, but that they're starting to move that ceiling to what Rajeev was pointing out.
I think this team is as good as their three-point shooting percentage allows them to be on any given night. And that's why, Rajeev, I'm not going to go as far as you're going with it. This team can absolutely beat anybody. You're 100% right there. But to get in March, to get into the Final Four, you got to beat multiple layers of anybody in a row. And I don't know if this team is going to shoot well enough to do that. This is still a team that is very three-point dependent. I know they did well in the paint today, but it's Carrington opening that shots up. It's Boyd, it's Rapp, it's Rhodey hitting those first 2 threes. Like, we didn't even talk about that. That opened up the paint. That was a big moment in this game where Michigan State has to kind of cover more ground. It's a very dependent team still on that perimeter shooting. And a guy like Nick Boyd, who's incredible today, is a streaky, inconsistent perimeter shooter at times. So I don't think it's a Final Four realistic ceiling team. I just don't think they can string enough shooting and defense together over that pace of time. But I will say, to Coach's point, Coach and I were talking on the phone, and we both kind of said this is a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we said round of 32. I think this team could absolutely smash past that, the way they're playing and gelling right now. But, man, Final Four, what happens in the game where the spigot gets shut off from the perimeter because you're playing a really good perimeter defensive team with this Badger squad? You may struggle and run into a buzzsaw.
Perhaps. And I hear that argument, but I would say that I would counter that with the fact that not only do you have a few three-point shooters on this team, you have almost the entire roster that can go off now. Like, we've seen Rapp go off in a couple games. We've seen Bilyaskis go off. I'm bringing up the guards and the better players on the team. Rhodey with the two big 6 points right off the bat tonight, like, to get us off to a lead. We have a lot of different players that theoretically one of them can maybe have a good night when the other guys are having an off night. And I will say our ability to play a little better pick and roll offense, a little bit better down low, pressuring the ball into the inside, letting those guards drive, and particularly Blackwell has been a little bit better about making sure that he can drive and get those fadeaways that he's so good at. I think we do have other ways to score. I think we can neutralize a poor shooting night a little bit. Now, look, if we shoot 15% from 3, we're not winning a game. That I agree with. But I would argue with the fact that since we have so many three-point shooters that have now had their moment, that have now had their sort of nuclear night, if you will, I think we can combat some of that. And because we have so many guys that can do it, we can neutralize it and we can still win those games. We're not everybody shooting the best.
Yeah, listen, I think, and Coach, I'll kick it over to you. To me, the emergence of Carrington, and Rajeev, I'll give you credit for this. You've liked him from the beginning. He's been, even in today's game, that's another guy. We haven't even really talked about Braden Carrington. Comes in, hits a couple big threes. He creates so much gravity. Michigan State was trying to smother him on the perimeter. Then he gets into the paint a couple times. The emergence of Braden Carrington and the reemergence of Austin Rapp have lengthened this team out to a team that has 8 shooters. 7 or 8 if you count the Janicki bank shots. But 7 real shooters. There's 7 real shooters on this roster, 1 through 7. That's a very good point, Rajeev.
Yeah.
Coach, Braden Carrington, yeah.
Yeah, no, Coach, Ryan, I would agree I am curious to see what happens when they face a high-level, perimeter-orientated defensive team, because, I do think Rapp, to Rajeev's point, Rapp brings another dimension, that floor spacing ability. But again, and I know he's a freshman and stuff, but they're going to have to get more out of Bieliuskas to make a run in the tournament, to be able to win a game when they're maybe not hitting 10+ threes. They're going to have to find a different way to generate points. And so that's going to be a key. They're going to need to get a little more presence on the interior to overcome a bad shooting night. Because right now, to what you were saying, Ryan, they're so dependent on the perimeter shooting. Now, Rajeev's right. They have numerous weapons, so you would have to get a bunch of those guys being cold on the same night, which is a great point. But again, as we see, when you get in that round of 32, 16, you're playing elite offensive and defensive teams. So what are they going to do to win a game where they don't hit 10+ threes?
Yeah, that's a good point. I had somebody in the chat say, hey, just enjoy the moment. Trust me, we are. Like, trust me. I'm going to sleep great tonight. But when you talk big picture, you got to talk big picture, right? And there are still deficiencies on this team. As great as they played today, listen, this was the worst Spartan loss since the Battle of Lectura in 371 BC. That's when the Theban forces shattered the Spartan line. I mean, so this is the worst Spartan loss since 371 BC when the Thebs absolutely demolished them. So I'm all about this, right? There's a little bit of locked on history there as well. But yeah, it's still big picture. I still think defensively this team has some holes. I think they're perimeter dependent. I think those things can trip you up in March, but a lot of things can trip you up in March. A team could run into the Badgers and the Badgers could trip them up because of the perimeter shooting. Let's hit a couple of these starred questions. If you guys want to take a couple, we'll rotate it around. I do want to throw this one out there because this is always just awesome stuff when you get updates like this. Larry says, my wife is improving, doing terrific. Thanks for everybody's support. For the people watching the channel right now, we have 600 of you in here, which is incredible. Give a like, thumbs up, all that stuff. We don't really ever ask for that too much on this channel. We try to do it all organic. But Larry's a good friend of the show. His wife underwent a bit of a procedure. She's doing better. So always awesome news on that front. Let's get into some of these questions here. Let's see. Where would this team be without Boyd? Adam forgot the game was on. That's terrible. Yeah, that's a bummer. Rajeev, Quinn, I'll throw this one to you. Quinn says, what seed are we thinking now? You mentioned 6 seed now. What can this team realistically get to, though? What is the seed ceiling?
Yeah, so we've got 2 more quad 1 opportunities next up. We got at Ohio State, we've got Iowa, then we've got a couple, like a stretch where we got at Oregon, Washington, and Maryland at home, where we need to win those games. If you drop one of those games, which are all lower quad games, then you can drop a little bit. But right now, I would say we're a 6 at minimum if things hold. So even if we were to lose one of these quad 1 games, and if we win those games we need to, we're not going to beat Purdue at Purdue. And if we do, then we could go much higher. I think right now, if things stay kind of where they are, our floor is probably an 8. Our ceiling's probably a 4. I'd say 6 right now. But yeah, like what we do against quad 1, listen, quad 1 wins mean everything. That's what the NCAA committee is all about. That's what everything is based on. So if you can get those and you avoid those quad 4 losses, quad 3 losses, that's like the Oregon. If we lose to Oregon on the road, that's going to be hurtful to you. So you can't let that happen. You can't lose to Maryland at home. But if you get everything done, I think this team is a 6, maybe up to a 5.
Coach, better duo, Tanjay Blackwell or Boyd Blackwell?
Oh, that's a great question. I would probably have to say Boyd Blackwell, just for the fact that Boyd's a pure point guard and Blackwell is not. So I think with Tanjay and Blackwell, you had 2 combos. I think with Boyd and Blackwell, you have a PG and you have a combo, if that makes sense.
I think it's a good answer. Let me go to this one here. I want to throw this up here. Growing Golfing says, don't get full of yourselves. You're on a heater. Michigan and Illinois are a couple steps ahead of you guys. Not on the scoreboard. Not on the scoreboard. You're not. Like,
we played them both and we've beaten them both. So calm down. Like
on the road. They beat them on the road.
If they're so much better than us, then beat us at your own place.
Correct.
Wonderful take there. Thomas Miller, good friend of the show. Would you guys take Braden Smith and Lawyer over Boyd and Blackwell? I'll take that one. Oh my gosh, that's tough. I probably don't, only because Coach, you kind of just hit on this too. I think with Boyd and Blackwell, you have two alphas. I think either one of them can take over. To me, Lawyer's a bit more of a complimentary piece, a great one. And Braden Smith is incredible. Guys, the point guards in the Big Ten this year. Boyd, Braden Smith, Fears, Wagler. That's incredible talent. I think I'm taking Boyd and Blackwell over Braden Smith and Lawyer, though. I just think they're two alphas, whereas Purdue's maybe more of a 1A and a 1 capital B situation there. Rajeev, L. Mills, Blackwell's attitude and edge paramount for the squad. Is he maybe again getting lost in some of the sauce here?
So one of the things I would say, and I think I remember starting this comment, one of the things I like about this is like, but Blackwell, like it's a bit of a lightning rod for us. Like if he's having one of those games where he just looks like disinterested and he's a little, we have a disjointed offense and defense. Oftentimes he's the reason for that. And when he looks locked in, we have a performance like we did tonight. We have a performance like we did against Illinois. When he's not locked in, we have a performance like we did against Minnesota, where we looked like a totally JV team in the first half. So yeah, I think this comment is great. His attitude and edge is paramount for the squad. So he's a leader. He's one of the best players on this team coming into this season. The last couple of years, like he's been the guy. If he like, and oftentimes when you have a team like this, as the star goes, so goes the team. So yes, Blackwell is the guy. And if he's the X factor, if he's going to have a game like he's had, we're going to look better. If he's going to look disinterested and not have that effort defensively, we're probably going to lose. So yeah, he's paramount to what we do. And I think some of that attitude and mentality is getting better, which is why I'm projecting this team continuing to look as good as it is, because Blackwell's looking great. And we don't see some of that disconnected sort of ness that we saw before.
I think that's well said. By the way, Mike behind the mic was at the game today, so he's not operating this on inexcusable, obviously. But if you see me looking back and forth, I forgot how it's so much. He does so much for this community, and I hope when people get to meet him, or if they ever get to meet him, he's phenomenal. He's a veteran, great dude. But that's why I'm managing comments now. It's much harder than I remember. Coach, Carrington has become a very smart player. I think you and I both undersold him. He is dynamic off the bench.
I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. We did the show in the summer, Ryan, and I liked his experience factor, but I was like, looked at what he did in Minnesota and at Tulsa. I didn't really see it translating much to the Badgers. I was 100% wrong. All props to him. He's brought, to Rajeev's point, he's brought that extra dimension. But Ryan, you pointed it out earlier this evening, getting to the basket, because teams are really coming out at him, trying to take away that three because he has no conscience. He's going to pull it. And a couple of times they did a hard closeout, flow, and he went by him, got to the foul line. And we've talked about it for weeks now, that his defense effort, particularly on the ball against ball screens, and his work on the boards. He's become a critical piece that has lengthened the depth of this team. And to Rajeev's, what he was been saying all night, it's raising the ceiling, and BC has a lot to do with that.
I'll take this one. J.Y. Bialuskas had a half of the turnovers tonight. He gets flustered. Yeah, this wasn't a great A-B game. Two things. It's going to be great for him in the future. This is going to be a great learning point for him in the future. And B, he never, like we said early, down the second half, he had a man's rebound, went back up, then he had a block shot on the next possession. The fact that he never quit, like he kept swinging, and he had a couple turnovers early. He had a couple moments. You're like, what the heck is he doing? This is not locked in. He had a bad pass that he threw away that was going to go to Nick Boyd. And then the second half, he just kept battling. And again, that's the culture of this team. That's what you got to take away from that. This team doesn't fold. The players don't fold. And obviously they were up big today. We've talked a lot about this team will come back on you. They also kept the foot on the gas. I don't even know if we've really talked about that. I kept saying, and I texted, I think both of you guys at some point, Michigan State's going to go on a run. They're going to go on a run. They never really did. I mean, they had a mini spurt in the first half where they hit three. They went on a 9-0 spurt. But that's incredibly impressive to keep a team like Michigan State on the mat for almost 40 minutes. I mean, they knocked him out and they didn't let him back up. And the Bialuskas thing really quick is, to me, a microcosm of that. Like in that second half, he was still battling and fighting. So, yeah, not a great game, Jay White, by AB. I agree. But I love the fact that he never folded.
And one of the things about a Tom Izzo coach team, which we've seen many times in the past, they can lock it down defensively in the second half. When they want to shut you down, we've seen that. We've gone to the Breslin Center and been shut out for multiple minutes in the second half because that's what Tom Izzo's teams do. But not with a guy like Nick Boyd, not with the ability to take what he needs to do and to drive to the hoop and the assist that we had as a team. Like, we're different than some of those teams that have played Michigan State in the past. And that's what's more impressive. I agree with you. Like, the fact that they didn't close it to, I was thinking, okay, how long until it actually is under 10 points, like in the lead? How are we going to be in an 8-7 point game? We never even sniffed it. That is extreme. And this, again, guys, this is a top 10 team. This isn't just some Joe Schmo Big Ten team. This is Michigan State.
Yeah, I agree. Coach, I want to hit you with this one. Are we undervaluing the defensive performance tonight? That's from Jake B.
Yeah, no, Jake B's completely right. I mean, I talked about it in the beginning. The 40 minutes on both ends, what they did, that limiting Michigan State. The reason why we talk about how we were expecting that run and Michigan State did get it to 7 in the first half, but to what Rajeev was saying, I'm not sure it maybe 12, 13 in the second half. The reason why, to what Jake is alluding to, is they were getting stops. They didn't give up those 8, 9, 10, 11-0 runs because they were getting stops in between, and they're such a good offensive team. If you can just sprinkle in some stops, that leads to the sort of domination that we saw tonight.
Guys, we're at 46 minutes. There's 600 of you in here. It's just incredible and humbling, and thank you for that as always. So let's start to wrap it up here, but final thoughts as we kind of go around the horn. Coach, we'll start with you. Anything we didn't hit on? Anything else you had written down you wanted to touch on? I've got a couple myself, but final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, great week. The problem is with the Big Ten, it never gets easier. They got to take care of business. They got a tough road game at Ohio State, I believe, on Tuesday. Iowa's still on the docket. The Oregon game scares me at Oregon. It's just, so they got to keep the momentum going. I really love where they're trending in the right direction. They keep on getting better from game to game. The one thing, Ryan, you and I talk about a lot about it, their transition defense has to get better, because now it was a great game plan by Gard and his staff, but Michigan State's not a good perimeter shooting team. And when you face a better perimeter shooting team, there were a lot of clean open looks, especially in transition. That's something that the Badgers have to get better at.
Listen, confidence is everything in sports. We all know this. And this team is playing as confident as they can be at this point. And that's the kind of thing that Nick Boyd is sort of delivering to this team, and John Blackwell and everyone's doing it. As Coach said, got to keep the momentum going. Like Ohio State, Iowa, at Oregon, at Washington, Maryland at home, Purdue. That's it. That's the rest of the Big Ten season. We need to keep this momentum going. What I don't want to see is a bad loss now that kind of eats away at these wins. Show the committee what you mean. Show the country what kind of talent you have. Like, this is a team that early in the season, before that, in the non-con, we were like, ooh, no big wins. I don't know. This is a bubble team. We did a show last week on Buck Report talking about how this is a bubble team after that Indiana loss, because we didn't know where the wins were going to come from. And we're like, there's no way they're beating Illinois or Michigan State. And sure enough, they beat them both. That, such an incredible performance from Greg Gard. I have to point that out again. That's what a great performance, but keep going. Don't stop. And the Austin Rapp experiment that's been happening right now, the resurgence of Austin Rapp, if this continues, you literally just got basically a brand new transfer, because we all had pretty much written off what Austin Rapp had brought to us. And he's like a new transfer now. This is incredible. Like, we have to build, though. I don't want to. We're gonna have some bad games. We're gonna have some bad shooting nights. But keep that whole 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Right? We had a little step back from Indiana. We've had about 9 steps forward this week. Let's keep that momentum going.
Yeah, that's well said. I was getting nervous, man, because I was sitting there on Rapp Island and I had nobody else around me. I was about one of the last people with a small parcel of land on Rapp Island, and I was about to sell. And I think he's been playing great. A couple really quick things I'll throw out here. We usually do a what went wrong, but there's just not much. Like, this is just a dominant game. I agree with Coach. they lose perimeter shooters in transition defense. It's why Michigan State made a mini run. But I had somebody in my last show say he called my reaction show Staid, STAID, because of the what went wrong action. And I'm like, you got to insult me with words I know. I had to go Google it. I didn't even know what it meant. It basically meant like repeatable or whatever. So we're not going to do that today. I wanted to hit on Andrew Rohde in the passing. He throws some needles and some needles that he doesn't need to throw. Like you don't need to throw like a cross-court whip bounce pass to a cutting freshman 4. You don't need to throw that to Beals. Like he's just not going to catch it right now. But you can tell he sees things. His vision is so good. That skip pass he made, I think in the second half from the right corner to the left corner to set up a wide open 3. Just elite vision, man. And this is, again, it feels like, and you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong, but in baseball, when your number 1 starter emerges, it locks in your 2, which locks in your 3, which locks in your 4. It feels like with the emergence of Boyd, the way Blackwell's turned it on, the way Rapp is going, now Rohde can slot into the spot that he should slot into, which is that secondary playmaker hitting open shots. I think he's a stabilizing force. I think we're seeing all the pieces coalesce together, and it's really exciting if you're a Badger fan.
He's always been this guy that, like, you know, he can make this beautiful passes. And I think he's undervalued for the most part this season. Like a couple turnovers tonight. Some of those passes were a little advised, but you're right. Like he's the only one seeing it and he's the only one doing it. And yeah, you put that all together. Like that's a pretty good recipe.
Oh, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you know, the thing is, you know, just being to Ryan, you're talking about roles. As coaches, we all define roles for guys. Good teams become great teams when the players understand their roles and they play to their roles. And to a great observation that you had, Ryan, is I think Rohde, BC, AB, everybody's understanding their role. Rapp, they're playing to their role. Boyd and Blackwell know how to work. It's now, as long as everybody sticks to that role, I mean, it's just elevating them. They get better each and every night. And it's because I think there's clear, defined roles.
Really well said. Awesome show. Artificial Badger's going to go see him play at Washington. Hell yeah. Go enjoy it, man. Get a dub. Enjoy that for sure. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Come hang out at the Locked On Badgers Discord. If you're not there, I'll put that banner up as well. A lot of conversations over there. Football, basketball, and everything in between. Come join us there if you haven't yet. I actually don't have that QR code handy. You already do. I'm gonna put that up here as well. Aside from that, guys, go check out Rajeev and Justin Locked On or in Bucky Report. Go tune into Coach's game on Sunday. Yep. Coach, where can they find your game?
Yeah, Sunday we are at Omaha, 12 o'clock Central Time, CBS Sports Network. The Pios are going for a 4th win in a row. So it's a big game. So if people are a little hungover or want to watch the ball after a big Valentine's night, check out the Pioneers at noon on CBS Sports Network. Appreciate everybody on the chat, all the well wishes, people interested. You guys are phenomenal. Caroline, everybody. I really appreciate, love being a part of this. Thank you very much.
Guys, on Wisconsin, and we will definitely talk to y'all later. Wisconsin blows the doors off the Spartans. Again, one of the Spartans' worst defeats in the history of their civilization. Let's go. Lock it up on Wisconsin.